new option. They added a new option to the live chat. I freaking hate it. I hate some parts of other parts I like. I do allow you to have 100 charters, which is nice because I always have that problem. We can't finish our sentences on here. We got to put them in halfway because they don't allow you to put them in there. Oh man, we got to talk about this. My videos, keep in mind, I do just about a little bit of everything. And we do specialize in home theater projection, screen paints, but I get so sick and tired of the fakes and phonies and liars that come on here talking all this trash, can't back their products up. Dark environments, overpriced projectors, calibrated projectors, not doing any tests whatsoever. But the stupid stuff that they literally have written in the specification sheets, if you can call it a specification sheet, it's a freaking nightmare. Anyway, we got to buy this product. We're bringing it down here for testing if the site ever opens up. Because again, this guy's terrified to sell his paint. We already went through $700 for canceled orders. I done been through the mess with this guy. He cannot process orders for jack. But I got to sit here and I got to go through each one of these freaking nightmare steps in order to paint a simple screen in. Are you kidding me? You got to fix this, man. Ain't no customer in the right mind. I don't even want to do it. And I paint screens all day and I don't want to do it. This is insane. I'm going to bring my painter friend down here to read through this mess. So you can see how much of this stuff is bull crap. Who in their right mind? The first thing when they came in, the first thing he asked me was, how hard is it to paint in? What kind of instructions? What do I got to do? So they want something they can just and be done with it. Not all this stuff. It's crazy. I'm going to show you what he has in here, an instruction sheet. Read it for yourself. I literally got to do this. I don't want to do this. I literally don't want to do this. I'm still going to buy your product, but I don't want to do this. It's just too much work. I mean, when I get done painting this screen, and at one point, I think there's going to be a freaking time clock for me to punch in so I can get paid for it, because that's a lot of freaking work. Let me see, paint applications. Let me see what we have here, right here. Right here. Wait. Here we go. There's even instructions on how to stir it. Why is there instructions on how to stir it? All right. Stir the formula very, very well. That's just basic common sense, including side and bottom. A few minutes stirring time will serve you well. Minutes? Are you kidding me? Shake it up on the screen. You're done. That's it. Doesn't make a difference. You're gonna put on a line. Just put it on the screen. You're painting the screen. You know, painting a portrait to a ceiling of a church. Let's see. Will serve you well. Lightly stir before each coat. You can filter the mixture using a paint filter if desired. First of all, you said your stuff is paper thin. Why would you be filtering it? So I gotta sit there and if there's something that, oh, forget it. That's just stupid. What about this nonsense right here? This is application 1. Application 1. Follow with me, people here. Application 1, 90 to 100 inch screen. We recommend you pour an approximately 3/4 of a cup onto the screen. That's just stupid right there at the end of the day. Okay, then you for 100 for 90 inches, 100 for 90 inches, 3 to 4 cups. Well, it doesn't make any sense. What size are you talking about? You said pour 90 to 100. Okay, 3.4. But you're talking about here for coating smaller screens of 90 inches. Adjust 1.8 cups. That doesn't make a difference. Just pour it onto the screen. That's it. So you have to go through all this dumb nonsense. You get measuring cups out to try to figure out how to put how much paint to the screen. Let's see. For 100 inch to 120 inch, we recommend you pour approximately a cup of material on the screen. Now this is dumb. I'll tell you why it's dumb. Some customers are going to go heavy. Some customers are going to go light. You got to let them decide what they're going to pour onto the screen. That's what you have to do. Again, you may have a customer that may go through that quickly in no time at all and still have to add more to the screen and then think they're going to mess it up because they had to add extra to what the approximate of measurements were being told to be poured onto the screen. Here comes the cat in the hat scenario, which means this is like the green eggs and ham scenario. Carefully move the formula around the screen to ensure that the screen is fully covered with the formula. It's not a formula at the end of the day, this is a mixture. Let's see, formula. Avoiding quicker rolls, thrusts, or strokes that can slosh it off your screen. So again, a customer is painting the screen for the first time is basically not going to understand anything you're saying there. The only thing he or she understands is pour it to the screen, paint it in. People are going to spill anyway. That's why you get something called a paint drop cloth, because people are going to do that regardless. You're putting all these specific. What they said, I'm not supposed to do a thrust. Am I thrusting the screen? I'm not supposed to do a stroke. Am I stroking the screen? I'm not supposed to do a slosh. Am I sloshing the screen? How would they even know what that is at the end of the day of what they're doing? You're confusing them. All right, it's sloshed off the screen. Once the material is spread across the screen, starting on either side of the screen, apply a good amount of pressure on the roller on either left to right or bottom to top of the screen, and one full line movement to the next line beside where you previously rolled ended. Repeat across the screen until you have a good even distribution of the formula on the screen. I literally just have a flashback of basically being in class and someone asking me if Betty gets on a train and it's traveling and so and so. I literally just had a flashback of that. I hated those math questions at the end of the day. Here we go. All right, so distribution of formula on the screen. Next, let me see right there. It says right there. All right. Okay, that's a drying time. We have to get to here. It says next. Next, starting on either side of the screen, repeat the above, but half over each previous row, allowing only the weight of the roller, no pressure, to go across the back or up and down to smooth out the potential heavy rolls, watch the video for clarification if needed. Oh my goodness. Most people don't even know how much pressure to put on a roller. It's normal. It's nothing wrong with you. It's normal. Most people, when they paint, they don't basically most people go heavy on the screen, and they will. They're going to go heavy on it because they never painted before, and they want to make sure they're applying the surface product well too. So they're going to put heavy on it. They're not going to do a light pressure. Some people are not even going to know what a light pressure is onto a screen. Again, the reason why he's asking you to put it on light is because the screen streaks. That's why. When we do child-proof walls in here, one of the problems we have, we go heavy on the screen. What happens is it smears. You can literally see the wall texture come through because it has a child-proof coating. But if I do a light roll on it and I'm barely touching it, that means at the end of the day, what's going to happen is I'm basically putting less pressure onto the surface and there's less of a chance of the surface showing through. That's why. Same instruction as the stuff. And you heard what I just read through. So basically, you're going to have to do all that just to paint a screen in. Read it through you. I'm going to read it all the way without saying a word. This could be literally a drinking game. Carefully move the formula around the screen to ensure that the screen is fully covered with the formula. Avoid quick rolls, thrusts, or strokes that can slosh the paint off the screen. Once the material, make sure my screen's not glaring. Once the material spreads across the screen, starting on either side of your screen, apply a good amount of pressure rolling either left to right or bottom to top of your screen in one full line. Moving the next line beside where your previous row ended, repeat across the screen until you have a good even distribution of the formula on the screen. Next, starting on either side of the screen, repeat the above, but half over each previous row, allowing only the weight of the roller, no pressure, to go across the back or up and down to smooth out any potential heavy rolls. Watch the video for clarification. So heavy rolls, that means that product is literally made so thin that you're definitely going to have some problems. If you apply pressure to it, you're going to basically streak the daylights out of the screen, which means it's asking you to go over with a light roll after you paint it in. You're going to paint that screen multiple times. You got to paint it in the first time, and you go heavy on it. What it's going to do is it's basically going to leave streaks on your screen. Then he's telling you have to go lightly over the screen to try to cover up anything that the paint marked up, because again, it's not a very well, what do you call it? Thick enough formula to cover. If that type of net problem, that stuff is going to have all kinds of problems on wood or anything that's going to have any form of imperfection or anything on the wall. You're going to do a lot of sanding for this. Let's see. So we read through all that right there. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. There we go. The way to roller. Let's see. Watch the video for clarification. Let's see. Repeat these steps for your second coat. So you're going to be putting 2 coats. You're going to have to do this twice. You're literally going to do it twice. He said repeat this for your second coat. You may use a fan to assist in drying time, or even move the screen to any location such as in the sun to dry. Bad idea. Extremely bad idea. You stick that screen outside, anything that's in the air will land on your screen. It'll be bugs, it'll be anything. Debris coming off trees, all kinds of stuff is floating in the air will land on trees. Leaves, if you're in an area that you get a lot of leaves, that's why you never see me dry a screen outside. If you saw me do a screen outside, it was actually underneath the deck, or actually the deck had holes in it. We underneath the kitchen because the kitchen extended out. So underneath the kitchen, and I tried to put like netting on each side, so if anything blew over like leaves or anything, it wouldn't hit the screen. That's an extremely bad idea. You're gonna come back in, you're gonna find all kinds of outside debris littered all over your screen. That's what you're gonna find. And bugs definitely are attracted to the smell of paint. You will find them all over, especially big ones that will land on your screen. I've had that happen many times outside, spraying the screen, and a bug will come by and land boop, right on the screen. Don't ever do that. You're gonna mess up. Matter of fact, don't even do any of this to begin with. That's a dumb thing to say. Now, if you got somewhere you could dry it at, where you've got like some kind of awning where you can block anything coming down on top of it, and some kind of netting around it, then yeah, that's perfectly fine. But to have it out in the open like that, anything will land on that. Anything. If you lay it on the ground, which you didn't tell you either, how are you putting this outside? If you lay this on the ground and you put it on 2 bricks or whatever, any dirt, debris that blows across the cement, grass, whatever, gonna land on your screen right there in front of the door. So how are you doing this? Doesn't say. It just doesn't tell you any more information on that. Let me see. Let's see. You may have fancy some of that, such as drying, such as out in the sun to dry, but allow each coat to sit 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm only painting this twice, but these insane instructions attached to it. I gotta wait 2 to 3 minutes before doing so. This allows the coating to self-level for a more refined finish. That's bull right there in front of the door. Let me see. Remember to allow each coat to completely dry to the touch before applying the next coat. So I'm doing more than 1 coat. 2 coats on this. You're going to do 2 coats, it better not be 4. I hate this already. Let's see. Complete dry to the touch. Apply the next coat. Let's see. Let me make sure we read this right. Remember to allow each coat to completely dry to the touch before allowing the next applying the next. Coat dry time is less than 30 minutes at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, it dries. That's it. That's all you have to put down. We literally dry screens without fans. You can shorten the drying time using a fan or a heat gun. Now, the problem we have here is, what size are we talking about? We have on ours basically 30 minutes depending on the size of your screen. It's 100 inch depending on the size of your screen. A screen size of 100 inch to 150 inch have different drying times because, again, 150 inch is using much more paint. Let's see. Now, I told you that he didn't add things on to a site. Remember that? Everything I say that he doesn't have a site, now he's added to his site. Remember I told you there was no cleanup instructions? Look, cleanup instructions. I told you. He doesn't know what he's doing. Everything that we say, he does it. I can go back and show you the site never said this in it at all, period. He's changing it as he goes along, as he's hearing me talk. So basically, he's taking my advice. This is coming from a person who calls himself the king of ambulate projection and all that nonsense, but you're taking my advice. We knew that wasn't there. I saw that. I looked for it. As a matter of fact, we went to the website. It wasn't even there. And now you're adding that in there, as in spills can be cleaned up easily with just a wet cloth. Yeah, but you got a problem there with just a wet cloth. Again, what kind of soaps and detergents? You have to put down mild detergents, because people will not listen to that. People are not going to believe in a wet cloth. They're going to go grab some detergent. Some people may grab something pretty strong to clean that up. So you have to put down hot water or warm water and mild soaps. So that way they don't go out and they get something harsh like paint thinner or something crazy to try to clean it up. Is your product water-based? You don't have that there. So since they don't know that it's water-based, they might try to use paint cleaner. No, sorry, paint thinner or something, or paint cleaner, whatever they had to try to use it. So what kind of cleaners are they using? Is it going to be mild soaps? What is it? I actually literally cleaned an entire floor in one of my demonstrations. Hold on for a minute. Where's my battery? I actually cleaned the demonstration in one of my demonstrations. Get my charge here. Why is it when you go to put a charge in, you're all thumbs? I couldn't figure that. I actually did a demonstration where I cleaned 3 floors that basically the paint has been there for 4 years when I moved out of moved out of the house, and I got on my hands and knees and I scrubbed everything clean on those floors, showing proof that that stuff would come up if it lands on the floor after 4 years of being on the floor. So we used mild soap. I used Dawn dish detergent, and I used warm water and actually cleaned the entire floor. Matter of fact, I need to find that demonstration. I need to post that too. But anyway, yeah, what kind of soaps are we using? And if you're saying a wet rag, again, it's a warm water, it's a cold water, it's a hot water, you got to have all that down there. We recommend that you not wipe the screen for, this is about the screen, and we recommend that you not wipe the screen surface until 48 hours. Then you can clean it with a damp cloth. But right here, your cleaning instructions, you didn't have that there when we checked. Now you put it there. You also are missing, since you're taking my advice, by the way, your surface application needs to be a lot more, which shows you're not testing your product on other surfaces. Again, outside, if you're using this outside, what is the starting point of the lumen count on the projector? What distance would the projector have to be at in order before the screen starts to deteriorate? Can you show demonstrations of the screen on ultra short lived demonstrations? And these demonstrations must be done on other form of certified outdoor screens, especially white screens at the end of the day. You have to show color levels, full color levels, contrast levels, and you're going to have to be able to show white levels. All this has to be displayed outside and inside. So you're still missing that at the end of the day. That's not even there. Any instructions on basically proper using of a paint sprayer? He has here fabric, cloth material. No, you should have put something more for the fabric. When you paint fabric, the problem with fabric, when you paint it, it's like a sponge. It will soak in more or soak in less, which means you will get a blotchy area on the screen. Some areas will get more, some will get less. This is why we request for you to go in and basically paint the surface with any kind of paint. It doesn't make a difference what it is, you're just absorbing to the screen. So we put the first coat on, let it dry, your second, let it dry, and then you apply your application. That way you get an even coat all the way across, which we show you in demonstrations on the massive 250-inch or any other screen we stick outside. But that's what you want to do. Drywall. Well, pretty much, yeah, drywall. But then the problem is basically what happens if you run across the surface like we do in here that basically is childproof. That's also too going to require priming too at the end of the day too. Wood and plywood. You'd have no fiberglass down there. Can you paint this a fiberglass? Can you paint this a glass? What about if someone actually paints this on an acoustic screen? What about that problem right there? Is sound going to still be able to transfer through along with the picture? There's just so many things. What about basically a stress test on fabric, spandex? Is it going to be able to crack or peel when it comes to spandex? There's so many things you don't have on here. You don't have any form of brick or stucco. Someone probably might apply stucco. You gotta have all that in there. I know it sounds crazy, but literally you have to have all that in there. You have to. People will paint screens on stucco walls, orange peels, bricks, cement, anything, just about anything you can possibly think of. You have to make sure you have all that in there and know that you have done these tests. A lot of stuff you're missing. We have literally done bed sheets, blankets, screens, styrofoam, all that stuff. Not in here at all, period. Let's see, such services include but are not limited to. Where's the rest of it? Because you're missing a whole lot here. You definitely don't know this at all. Let me see. We recommend you use a smooth surface. If you have an existing screen that you intend to recoat, be mindful that heavy textures or heavy orange peels each or extreme bumping. I told you. So basically, whatever's in this paint is very, very thin. So basically, a thin paint is going to show all the imperfections that you will have on your wall. Like my wall I got behind me right now has some imperfections, which means this is going to involve you sanding. You can't put this on anything. Thicker paints, and again, they don't require water. As an acrylic, are basically going to mask and cover all that up. Any imperfections you may have, which basically makes it less for you to be able to do. You have to do a lot of sanding. And keep in mind, if you're sanding in an environment, that sand dust has to go somewhere. So you got to clean that up too. It's a headache. So he advised you to have smooth surfaces. Good luck with that one. Let's see, heavy orange peel. Each of the extreme bumpiness or extreme bumpiness will impact the results. Of course it will, because the product's thin. Anything else wouldn't have that problem. Goose Screen had this issue when they started off. You had on ABS forums like droves and droves of forums where people in there sanding their screen down for hours and days just to get this perfect flat surface to apply the Goose Screen, because it was a very thin formula. That's what it was. And any imperfections you have in your screen or wall are going to push through. The average wall on acrylic is not going to have the issue. It can roll over anything at once because, again, it can hide and all the imperfections you're going to have on your wall. A rough time with this, people. A really rough time with this. Let's see. What impact? Sorry. Orange peel. Not only orange peel, even if you got wood, wood has a rough texture too. That might have to be sand down. Oh, gee, what did I thought about that? Some people I had a customer take the 4x8 pieces of wood. He was building a screen in the backyard, and sometimes they will actually push these screens together, and they'll basically put in a little joint compound in the middle, or maybe some tape, and they'll basically go in and they'll basically sand it down. And he was asking me that I have to go in and basically put in any form of tape, wood tape, to cover it up. I said no, because the product we make is going to cover that. All you have to do is just basically go in and just cover it over with a little bit of wood putty, and that's it. You don't have to do any really light sanding. Everything's going to mask in because the paint really is that thick. It's going to cover everything with no problem. We've actually painted over light switches in demonstrations, and you didn't even know the light switch was even there until I walked to go click, look, there's a light switch over here. But this right here, yeah, you're going to be doing a lot of sanding, because again, any imperfection will push through. We'll show you, we'll test it, we'll have it over here. We'll bring down some rough surfaces, coat it over top of it, because we are going to do paint on applications also too. See how it works out. Let me see. He should have done all these himself. I shouldn't have to do these. All these tests should have been done. I'd see. Let me see. Make sure the texture isn't proper. Let's see. Okay, orange peel or peels that may affect orange peel or affect or extreme bumpiness will impact the results. Mild texture isn't a problem. Well, I think it is going to be a problem. That's why we're going to test it. But if the screen has been painted over multiple times or a heavy texture, you may want to consider replacing the material. No, that's bad. That's a bad sign. If somebody did the paint job pretty bad on the screen, you should be able to coat over that with any acrylic, just like that, or any primer should go right over that with no problem. Put it back to its original state with no problem whatsoever. That you got where it peeled, and you can see the little peel lines in there where basically the paint peeled and it's a little rigid area. That may be a problem for you. Other than that, you can just recoat over that. We got screens we painted multiple times, and again, you really couldn't tell the difference if it was painted one time or 10 times in the demonstration. If the product was very thin, you would saw every single imperfection that would have popped up. That's the problem you're going to have right there. And multiple times the heavy texture paint, we may want to consider replacing the material. That's already a bad idea already. That's going to cost the consumer money. Let's see, priming. Priming is necessary, especially if you will be coating on a surface with a high absorption, whatever it is, meaning it will suck up the paint. Oh, absorption, meaning it will suck up the paint, such as surfaces including, but are not limited to. Actually, we use that basically. We're the first ones who actually came out with telling people to paint fabric screens twice, due to the fact that this is a screen that will absorb a surface that would absorb paint, and you would get the blotchy area. But you didn't explain about the blotchy area. You guys are copying everything we're doing. That's good to know. You know, you guys hate it in the end, but you copy everything that we do, literally. So, at number one, the instructions are nightmares. They are. It's a nightmare. There's no way in the world. Even I don't want to do this. I literally don't want to do this. We're going to do it anyway. I don't even know what half of the stuff he has in here doesn't make any sense. Why can't I just take the paint, shake it up, throw it onto the screen, and paint it? Why I got to go through this up, down, bottom, over? I literally figured out, after saying up, down, round, up, down, bottom, bottom, that sounds like the freaking cheat code for Contra on NES. Why the freaking I need to do all this? This is insane. You're talking about next starting at either side of the screen, repeat above, but half over each previous row. I gotta see this instruction. Is there an instruction demonstration for this madness? This is IKEA furniture, literally. Where's the instruction on here? We have paint applications, but there's no instruction video. Where's the video at? No video. And still sold out. Oh, man, you better hurry up, man. I'm tired of waiting for this stuff, man. You don't even have a launch date. Who makes a product without a launch date attached to it? There's no launch date. There's nothing here. Because we're definitely testing all this stuff out. So no launch date, no videos on how to paint this up. Let me see. Test-wise, we don't have any tests. We just have one product right here where he claims he beat a final, which literally basically we painted the black paint into the screen. So this thing has so many black test demonstrations. It's not even funny. But anyway, long story short, this is it. No test. And it's a meter reading of 208. Are you kidding me? I maxed out everywhere in this environment. I can literally max out in the next room of this giant screen I got in the next room. And I can literally do that at 6 in the dark. That's pretty low. Yeah. That's pretty bad. It's not. It's nothing really here at all, period. The instructions are insane. I'm dreading the instructions. I really am. Dude, I don't even I'm gonna paint your screen in your instruction way, which again is gonna be nothing but a freaking headache for me at the end of the day. And then I'm gonna paint it the way customers should paint the screen in, as in just pouring the paint down, forget about the lines. Pour the paint down, forget about how many cups and per screen and all that other nonsense. That's a headache. Take it out, pour it, and be done. That's the most insane instructions I ever heard. I gotta post this on Facebook. I definitely gotta post this on Facebook. This is the most craziest thing I've ever heard for instructions. Do we gotta do what you call them? Where does this start off at? Applying applications, stirring applications. Let me see, finish. Step repeat. Step 1. Step 1 application. Step 2 application. We just need this one right here. This is all we need. I'm gonna post this to a forum site. Nobody in their freaking mind is gonna do this at the end of the day. That's insane. I don't even want to do it. It's too much freaking work. That is way too much work for anyone to do. Who's gonna do that? That's insane. That doesn't even. Half of the people are not even going to understand that. All right, I'm going to my Facebook business account for this one. The instructions are crazy. There's no way in the world anybody in their right mind is going to do that. It's just too much work. It's way too much work. Way too much work. Oh man, it's funny. No one's gonna do that, man. It's too much work. Let me go back over here. Nobody in their right mind is going to do that. I don't even want to do it. I paint screens. This is what I do for a living, and I don't want to do that crap. I'm actually going to copy this and send this to my friend who's a professional painter, have him look over that. Nobody's going to do that. No, it's just too much work. And you're talking about everyday people. These people aren't, so many people are not professional painters. You're going to look at that like, what the freak? I mean, I got to paint this screen in, and then I got to do this light application, top, bottom, over, left, where I literally feel like I'm putting in the code for Contrim, unlimited continue cheat. That's what it feels like I'm putting in. There is no way in the world that I'm actually doing that. I'm going to buy the product. I'm going to paint it in, but that's just nonsense. You know what my customers do when they paint my screen in? We do it in every demonstration. We take the paint, just go, that's it. That's all we do. Just a line. Who cares if it's 2 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches? Don't care. Look right across the side of the screen. I take my roller. I basically hit my corners in a nice little square, and then dot, 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 dot. I'm done. That's it. Hang the screen up and basically dry it. I literally had to do a demonstration where I painted an 80-inch on the wall twice and a 100-inch by the time you finish your instructions. I literally painted 2 screens, one of them twice, watched the screen dry on camera, and then turned around and did a demonstration by the time your video ended. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Nobody. I don't even want to do it. It sounded like work just reading it. Sounded literally like work just reading it. Applications is freaking nutty. Application steps you have on here. Carefully move the formula around the screen to ensure the screen is fully covered with the formula to avoid a quick roller thrust, stroke, and avoiding quick rolling thrusts or strokes. Customers are not going to even know what that even means. Some customers don't even know what that means. All they know is I'm just going to roll the screen in. That's it. Just roll it in. You're talking about thrusts and whatever. How do they, when they're painting the screen, like, am I thrusting the screen? Am I rolling it? They're going to think if they made any one of those mistakes, if the results don't come out nicely, they're going to think they messed it up. That's the last thing we're going to do is sow doubt with the customer that they're going to mess up the screen. And see, once you have the material spread across the screen, starting on either side of the screen, applying a good amount of pressure on the roller. A good amount of pressure on the roller. What customer knows a good amount of roller pressure? Some are going to paint heavy, some are going to paint light. Each person is going to paint to what they feel comfortable of painting the screen with. You're telling me I have to put a good amount of pressure on the roller. Everybody's not going to do the same pressure. Everybody's going to have a different way on how they roll the screen. Like I said, some are going to be heavy, some are going to be light, some maybe in between. You don't even know, but you can't put that down there because, again, what do you mean? Goose Screen had something in their application where they said that dip the roller in the pan and put a perfect application on the roller. What the freak does that mean? I dip it in, I pour it out. That's it. You're making it too complicated. So they're going to be questioned like, okay, if I messed the screen up, did I put too much pressure on it? Did I not put enough pressure? Was it too light? Was it too heavy? Literally, you're going to sow doubt already. You're already doing it already. Once you have the material spread across the screen, starting on either side of the screen, apply a good amount of pressure, rolling either left or right or bottom or top on the screen, and one full line. Moving to the next line beside where you previously rolled ended, repeat across the screen until you have a good even distribution. Again, nothing but a headache. Distribution of the formula on the screen. Next, starting on either side of the screen, repeat the above, but half over each previous row. Half over each previous row? When people paint screens, and sometimes they go in any other direction, they go here, 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 they can go here, here, here. So they're just going to remember which of each previous row that they just put to the screen that they have to go over half over. Are you lost your freaking mind? Are you kidding me? How many people are going to remember where they basically dropped the roller at and went up and down in that same spot? They go in different directions with it. That's why when we do the screen paints, we go in different directions because we know the customer can go in different directions. So I'm going to tell you, hey, even though you might go here, 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 you need to remember where you previously started at to where you ended at, and you need to go half on each one of those. I literally have a better chance of weaving in an entire full-size basket the size of a 6-foot man underwater and basically having enough air to complete the entire basket before I complete this freaking nightmare. This is freaking crazy. I gotta go through this? This is making me depressed already. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. This is insane. Because the problem is, Danny, when you made these instructions, you made these instructions for you, not for the customer. Oh my goodness, man, you guys don't know jack at the end of the day. I'm going to put your paint up there so people know the freak you are, so they know where to come in and basically look at this freaking nightmare instructions at the end of the day. Literally, after reading this, for a split second, I could have swore I saw somebody come out of the wall with a tricycle and a clown face, asking me if I wanted to play a game. Are you kidding me? First things first, if a customer's painting the screen, how would they know if they're thrusting? How would they know if they're stroke? How would they even know that? They are going to get paint on the floor. I do it all the time. I paint all the time. I get paint on the floor. So basically, that's what drop cloths are for. Put the drop cloth out. All you gotta do is say, hey, get a drop cloth, put it out. You're going to paint the screen. Paint's going to hit the floor. That's what's going to happen. All right, that's it. Easy. Take the paint out. Just pour across the screen. Doesn't really make a difference if it's 2, 3, whatever. Just pour it out. That's it. You're done. Paint and you're done. That's it. Gee whiz, man. You act like I'm painting the... Was it Da Vinci? Da Vinci did the whole thing. What was it when he did the ceiling? I should know that one already. Anyway, next, start on either side of your screen. Repeat the above. Repeat the above. Repeat the above, but half over each previous row, allowing only the weight of the roller. No pressure to go across. Go across back or up, down, back or up, and down to smooth out any potential heavy road area. It should make a difference. The customer should be able to be done. That's it. That's too much, man. Literally, when I keep thinking about that up, down, over, up, down, over, up, down, left, right, I'm thinking about the infinity continues for Contra on NES. It literally just sounds like that. Up, down, over on each your D-pad. Up, down, over. Let me see. Watch the video for any clarifications. Oh, we definitely gonna post this video. I'm dying to see this video. I'm dying to see it. And this is gonna be a 2-coat application on top of that. So I gotta repeat that freaking nonsense twice? Oh, it's getting me a freaking headache just reading that, man. I'm happy to buy your product and get it down here. I'm depressed that I gotta sit there and I gotta paint this crap in. I'm gonna send this over to the painter and say, look, I want you to look at this. Tell me what the freak this means right here. They're gonna come back with a bunch of question marks. You made this bull crap up, Danny. You made it up to make your product seem so complicated and so advanced. No, man, that's a freaking headache. I don't want to paint that crap, and that's what put me to sleep just thinking about it. Where's the other part of this instructions? We got this part right here. If you're using a drawing time assist, only allow each coat to a level of finishing. Remember each coat and drop the touch. Clean up the. You finally put that in there, but then my goodness, man. Application 90. Paint. Oh, we gotta put the whole thing in. No, we gotta put the whole freaking thing in. This is freaking nutso. Even it has an application there for stirring the paint. That's insane. Oh my goodness. We find that it's best that you apply the screen laying on the flat surface horizontal. However, if you have to coat over an existing screen on a frame or painted a wall, painting a wall, we recommend you watch the video for instructions. Yeah, I understand how that's going to work. Because you're telling people down here they have to have so many cups of paint of different sizes in order to apply it to a flat surface. How would this apply to basically a wall? Because you pour this one down on a wall. Oh, and where's that painting instruction? Oh, he got rid of that. He definitely got rid of the painting line instruction. That's going, yeah, because that's not going to work with this mess. Okay. Let me see. I'm just going to we can post the whole thing there too, but I want this particular area with these instructions on here. This is what I want. This is the crazy madness. We want this right here. Or do we have this already? Yeah, we want to take this. We've got this right here. This is the crazy part. This application step right here is insane. Yeah. This one right here is absolutely insane. We have to have that down there. Because that's basically telling people up, down, over, up, down. That's crazy. Nintendo's cheat code for a Contra Infinity continues. Literally reminds me of that cheat code. Literally does. Up, down, left, right, BA. It literally reminds me of that. That's why I couldn't get that out of my head. I was like, wait a minute, that sounds like the Contra. Up, left, down, right. That's what it sounds like. Let's go over here. Go back into my account here if we need to clarify. I'm gonna leave this right here. And it is. You can't get mad because it is. It's insane. Application. And anybody for insane screen paint application. Let's see. This is even perfect. Why? Screen paint instructions should be easy and not a nightmare. Oh, they got a forum site on here called projectorscreens.com for basically apply. Oh, you're going right over here today. You're definitely going over here today. They have one right here. This is a talk forum site talking about exactly how crazy it is for basically painting a projector screen for applications. You're definitely. I'm going to pop into this forum site today. You're definitely going over here because this is madness. I don't even want to do this. It literally gave me a headache. It gave me a headache and almost put me to sleep. Let's see. This is a better caption. Over here. Now, let's see how many people will agree that these instructions are normal. Because everybody's going to turn and say, no, I am not painting this in. Let's see. Why screen paint instructions should be easy and not a nightmare. This, come back on that one.
Here's the definition of this. Used to identify a specific person or thing close at hand or being indicated or experienced.
Blah, 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 blah. Done. All right, move on. All right. These are instructions from a fellow who makes a screen paint who calls his instructions to be easy and easy to follow. Did you not state that, right? It is. You put it up there. It's supposed to be easy to follow, right? Freaking nightmare instructions. Gave me headaches just thinking about I got to paint this in. I'm only buying, like, I ain't buying all of them because I do not want to do that over and over and over again. And I got to do this twice. Just as a 2-coat application. I'm going to be doing that twice. Gee whiz. Oh my goodness. Dude, Danny, have some mercy on some people at the end of the day. Make that thing a little easier, man, because that is freaking crazy. I'm going to send this to my buddy who's a professional painter and say, hey, would you paint this in? He's like, oh, heck no. You know what he wants to do? Hook it up to a sprayer and just go, done. Okay, question. If you're talking about this, oh, yeah. Well, no. How would this apply to a paint sprayer? Because I know you're not putting that cup system in a paint sprayer. You know how much paint a paint sprayer eats at the end of the day? You will lose some paint. Majority of it, it's going to be in the air because it does go airborne. But how does this work with a paint? Oh my goodness, it just dawned on me. That literally just dawned on me. Danny, question. If you're telling people they got to put in so many cups of paint, right? The paint in the screen, this only applies to a roller. How does this apply to a paint sprayer? You do know what happens if you basically put in that little bit of paint. There probably isn't enough in there basically for the nozzle to suck it up. You're probably going to end up spitting it all over your screen, and most of it's basically going to go airborne and you're going to lose it. So how would this work with a sprayer? We don't think correct. It's what happens when you try to make things too complicated. At the end of the day, you don't think things through. Got a question. I'm going to feed it to a paint sprayer. You do know that, right? I got a friend of mine that got a garage. I'm going to go over there, put yourself to a paint sprayer, exactly what you said, and see how much paint we can get out of the paint sprayer onto the screen. She just said put a whole quart in there. Instead of putting little measurements in there, which is stupid, she just said, hey, you take a whole quart and stick that in there. That gives the customer enough room to play around. Even if he or she basically uses too much paint, they still got enough room to move around. You literally are, oh my goodness, taking specific measurements out of a quart. And that's not going to work in a paint sprayer. Gee whiz, I didn't think anything through it. Watch you go in and change it again to something else. If we're here coming to recorrect it. Do you want help? I can write you out nice instructions and send them to you. Do you want me? I can take your product and properly test it, give you a proper specification sheet to go with it, and run it through a paint sprayer to see exactly how much paint that thing's going to absorb. Have you done this test already with a paint sprayer? Do you even know how much paint that 1 1/4 or 1 1/8 is going to eat through a freaking paint sprayer? Oh my goodness. Butterfly in the sky. Do 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 do. Take a look. Read a book. It's reading rainbow. I can paint anything. You got to read that book, man. Crack a book, man. Literally, crack a book. I don't want to copy this multiple times. My brain is stuck on that right now. How would that even work with the paint? And I got to put that on there too. How would that work with a paint sprayer? How would that work with a paint sprayer? Now you're saying that, okay. Why screen paint instructions should be easy and not a nightmare. These are instructions from a fellow who makes screen paint should be screen, not screen paint, really? Screen paints. Now, Danny, I'm doing you a big favor. I'm not going to put your name down. I could easily put your name down if I want. I can trash you right now if I want to, but I'm not. I'm going to show you the reaction of how people are going to react to painting this thing in. They're not going to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this. It's just too much work. The instructions are nutty. A person's going to basically mess up. They are going to mess up, and they're going to constantly call you and say, hey, I did this and this wrong and that wrong, because you don't have anything in there saying, hey, if you do this wrong, this is going to happen. And if you do that wrong, that you can't even troubleshoot your own stuff at the end of the day because it's not even tested properly. All right, let's see. A fellow who makes a screen paints, okay, who calls his instructions to be easy. Who calls this instruction? Who thinks his instructions are easy? Actually, should be who thinks. Let's capitalize that. Who thinks his instructions are easy? Literally, I mean, I thought I was doing some Naruto, some freaking portal to another third dimension when I was reading that bad boy. I thought a star was gonna pop up in my middle of my floor and something's gonna come through it. What a freak's gonna do that? I don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. But I'm gonna have to do it. I ain't got a choice. That's between that. You give me flashbacks of Goo Screen. When I had to do a Goo Screen, I had to paint one of them so I can see exactly what kind of competition I was up against. I already knew from the door this was going to be an easy roll. Gee whiz, Jamie's paints are not even that worse. Jamie paints you and you paint it in, you're done. At least we know Jamie paints his house paint, so that's done and jacked up too. Either way, this is not hard. House paint is easier to paint than this. Gee whiz, man. Man, you depressed my day thinking about this freak painting this screen in. All right, thinks his instructions are easy. Are very. You think they are very easy. All right, why screen paint instructions should be easy and not a nightmare. Not a nightmare. These are, I'm doing Jamie's work in here. Let's make sure we get this spelled correctly. These are instructions from a fellow who makes a screen paint product. Let's see, screen paint product. Who thinks his instructions are very easy to do. And then at the bottom we have your freaking nightmare instructions. Application steps. Let's read through it. I've done this so many times, I think I know your instructions before you do. Carefully move the formula around the screen to ensure that the screen is fully covered with the formula, avoiding quick rolls, thrusts, or strokes that can slosh it off your screen. Once you have the material spread across the screen, starting on either side of your screen, apply a good amount of pressure, rolling either left to right or bottom to top of the screen in one full line. Moving to the next line beside where you previously rolled ended. Repeat across the screen until you have a good, even distribution of the formula on the screen. Let's see. Next, starting on either side of your screen, repeat the above, but half over each previous roll, allowing only the weight of the roller, no pressure, to go across and back or up and down to smooth out any potential heavy rolled areas. Watch the video for a clarification needed. Repeat these steps for a second coat. I'm gonna do that nonsense twice. Are you kidding me? You know how many screens I can paint in that amount of time? How long is it gonna take me to paint this thing in? I'm gonna time this thing. All right, so that right there, yeah. Now, let's go talk about this while this is loading up for my button. This is another problem we have here. Application 1. For a 90 to a 100 inch screen, we recommend you pour 3/4 cups into the screen. All right. Let's see. If you are using a paint spray or a tray, it doesn't make any difference. You're not saying there's nothing more there. All you're saying is disregard if you're using a paint sprayer or paint sprayer if you are coating a screen similar to, this is different, this has nothing to do with the framework. Disregard if you're using a paint tray or sprayer if you are coating a screen smaller than 90 inches. Adjust by 1/8 cups for every 5 inches. Now the problem you have with this right here, my friend, is the fact that how would this apply if I'm putting this in a paint sprayer cup? Because if I stick in here 3/4 of paint into a sprayer, it is going to eat that up just like that. It's going to be gone. It's better if you put the whole quart in there, and that way the customer can make the decision on he or she on how much paint they're going to paint in for a 100 inch to 120 inch, which you have on your product. But if you put down a precise amount that they have to put in, what's going to happen is they're going to eat through that quickly, extremely quickly. And then they're going to put more paint into it because there's not enough paint that the paint sprayer is going to be eating as it feeds through the paint. It's going to basically kill it off. So they're going to do that over and over and over again, which means they have to turn around and they have to basically cut the compressor off. They have to basically disconnect the nozzle. They have to pour the paint in, put it back on, and do that every single time because they don't have enough paint, because the paint sprayer is eating through the paint extremely quick because there's not enough paint in the cup. This would apply for basically if you're doing a screen that's flat that you use on a roller, but how does this application work if you're using a sprayer? Man, y'all don't think anything through. Y'all just throw stuff up there for the sake of just throwing stuff up there. People, you don't have to do all that crap. This is where it's going to get pretty. I would advise you don't open your website. Your paint on application alone is going to fail the test. And I'll tell you why. This is how bad it's going to be. I'm going to tell you right now. So that you know, you're listening, Danny, you might want to hear this. If I come and get your paint over here, right? And I will get your paint here. You open up that website, I get your paint over here, and we match that paint to any bare silver screen. Any one of those products require a one coat. All I have to do is take bare, network grade 773, any one of them, and just go right on the screen. That's it. I don't have to measure jack out. I'm just go and I'm done. I can literally paint in a house paint faster than it takes for you to paint this in. And it will dry faster than your product with no problem whatsoever. Now, if I come on here and you match a house paint that literally costs far cheaper than yours, even at a gallon, and it's able to be painted in faster than your application here, you basically are going out of business. Did you think about that before you put that insane nightmare instructions in? Because the Crow makes a paint that actually works and doesn't match anything at the end of the day. At least he can come on camera and say, hey, look, there's no crazy instructions. Just put the screen on your paint and you're done. Literally. So he really doesn't have to have any competition against any form of grade paint as long as he doesn't match it. If he has something he does not matching and he has a product that's actually legit at the end of the day, he can literally go out there and say, yeah, I can paint mine and just like that and be done with it. His product is easier to paint than yours. So if your product matches any of the house paints that I pull up, and then on top of that, we can paint it in just like that and be done with it, you're finished. I don't even really have to test your stuff. Your instructions alone are going to kill you. Who in their right mind is going to do this? I don't care if it's the most insane paint on the planet. If it has complicated instructions, people don't want to touch it. That's why people make jokes about IKEA furniture. It's a freaking nightmare. You literally have to sell your soul just to put together a coffee table. People would rather go someplace else and buy. Only people that walk into freaking IKEA are people that just don't know, or people basically do know, and they just pay for the service fee to have somebody put it together. But the noobs that don't know, and they're looking at all that pretty furniture and how it's all put together, well, I can do this, it's going to be easy. You know, we all been down that road. If you haven't, you will find out. Pay the service fee for someone to put it together. Trust me. It's going to be the difference of you not ending up in a bar and becoming a potential alcoholic or basically drinking more than you need to. Because trust me, IKEA furniture will drive you to drink. And they can sit there and joke about that. Sit there, it's not true. There are memes all over the place about IKEA furniture. It's a freaking nightmare. It's beautiful to look at, but putting it together, you literally got to sell yourself to the devil just to put together a coffee table. A lot of you not. Been there, done it already. Anyway. People sit and say, well, I used to put together Legos. No. Legos weren't built by the devil. I'm going to put it that way. That stuff was built by the devil. That stuff is a freaking nightmare to put together. Oh, God, it's such a nightmare. Anyway, let's get back to this real quick. So, yeah, the instructions can make and break a product. People at the end of the day they want something easy, something that has good results from the door. That's what they want. That's the kind of product people want. They want it easy. That's what they want. They want something that they do very little instructions. You know what I mean? People hate buying TV sometimes when they read the instructions. Like, oh God, just give me freaking YouTube, Netflix. I'm done. I don't care about the rest of this crap. I'm done. That's all I want. That's what they want. And they want good results from the door. The problem you have with this right here, your instructions alone are going to kill you in the water. We buy your product, you match any one of those house paints, and then we can turn around and we can paint that paint in with no water attached, which is not needed, and do that easily. In no time at all. Somebody will still be painting your screen in. I can literally paint this entire room in here before somebody finishes one of those screens. That's what's going to hurt you. Oh, my goodness. And again, this whole cup system right here, telling the customer they have to measure 3/4 and then 1/8. You know what's going to happen if you stick that into a compressor with a sprayer? The minute they squeeze that trigger, some people don't know exactly how much pressure to put on a trigger when you pull on a paint sprayer. Some people will pull it all the way down and paint will just go all over the screen. If you're too close to it, what happens is you get drip marks. This is why we advise for customers to use the Wagner 250. The Wagner 250 is like using an aerosol can. It's a fantastic way to teach a person how to use a paint sprayer. And I said, look, if you don't want to mess up your screen, if you want to teach yourself, what you do is go get yourself some food coloring. You basically color the water, get yourself a white sheet, put it out there and practice on that. You'll be able to see the reaction from the watercolor. And on top of that, it's not going to basically be a lot of paint. It's not going to clog up your paint sprayer. It's just water at the end of the day. You can rinse it out when you're done. So you can easily clean your machine. This is how I teach people basically on how to basically light dust the screen, how to put a light coating on it. Start with, if you're not familiar with a paint sprayer, start with some water and some food coloring, and that's it. And you can see your reaction going across the screen because the water will be a different color. Best way to do it. But some people get in a paint sprayer, and I've done it for the first time, squeeze the trigger, and this paint just shoots all over the place. You got to learn to adjust it. You got to learn to know how much pressure to put on the trigger to get it to be able to spray just right the way you want to. So most people with a paint cannon are going to squeeze all the way down. That's what they're going to do. And that compressor is going to suck all that paint out of there. And most of that product either is going to be in the air or it's going to be heavily repeated on the surface. That's what's going to happen. That's why we noticed that when we made screen paints that were spray-on applications only, they sold, but not as much as those that were roll-on sold even faster. Because people are more confident with a roller than they are with a paint sprayer. But your product, if you're saying it's front and rear, you can't use rollers with that because rollers will mark and streak the screen no matter what you use because the formula is too thin. It's like trying to paint with milk. You're going to mark and streak the screens. This is better application to be sprayed on than to be rolled on. So I don't even know how that's even going to work. You should have just said, look, it's 32 ounces. It paints up to 120 inch screen. Let them put the whole 32 ounce into the whatchamacallit, and then that way they can't go wrong there. If they just decide they want to spray, you know. But these particular measurements you have here, that's going to eat through with no problem whatsoever. And the first squeeze will eat through that. But yeah, but your big problem you're going to have here is any of these light paints, mid-grade screens, any one of them, even the charcoal matches any of the house paints that we have over here. One of the problems you're going to have is, well, you're going to match the product. That's a big problem right there, which means your product is worth less than $60. But another problem you're going to have is because you have this complicated instructions sheet put in, that paint, the house paint, doesn't require these complicated instructions. You just pour it down, roll it in, you're done. That's your nightmare right there. I wouldn't even like to test your product at the end of the day. That alone would do it. And your black paint requires the same nightmare too at the end of the day. You know how easy it is for us to paint a black screen? That right there alone basically kills your product at the end of the day. How are you going to compete with our black technology when we can roll in just like that on any surface, and yet the customer has to go through that freaking nightmare of a freaking, I don't know, Rubik's Cube riddle nonsense in order to paint a screen in? And at that, you got people who have motorized projection screens. People with motorized projection screens are more cautious about a motorized screen than any other screen because there's a motor attached to it, and this top of this is a screen that's going to be rolling up inside of this motor. They don't want to damage it. They don't want to destroy it. Motorized screens can be expensive. So you're going to tell me I got to put 2 applications on here and I got to go through that process on a motorized screen? They're not going to do that. Oh, heck no. Like I said, I don't want to do it. That thing's giving me a freaking headache thinking about it. I'm going to send this over to my painter. I'm going to have a look at the instructions here. If you don't mind being on camera, I'm going to ask him if you don't mind being on camera, can he read through this? You don't got to show his face. You just basically going to talk and have him look through those instructions so he can sit there and look at this and go, nope, ain't nobody even going to do it. He won't even do it. It's too much work at the end of the day. It's a lot of work. And keep in mind, because this is a thin coating, this is going to require sanding. It's definitely going to require sanding. If this stuff comes out real thin, it's definitely going to require it. You keep stating over again, this product's not a paint. We know we use acrylic. Everybody uses acrylic. So we know your product is acrylic. That's why you dropped all that water in there to make it seem thin, like it was a skin coating, which basically was just nothing but water. There better not be water in this paint when I get it. Better not be water in this paint. I don't want to see water in this paint. I want to make sure I get what I paid for. Test. I don't got no test there. And this right here, this is a scam right here altogether. This is not even this auditorium. You're not even anywhere near. I literally blew this up. Where's that image coming at? It has nothing to do with you at all, period. Let's go pull the image up. If this is you and you got responsible for doing this, you should come up on this with no problem. No, you stole the image, as always. All you do is steal images. It has nothing to do with you at all, period. Not a thing. Where's your screen at in this picture, Danny? Where's your screen at in this picture? Where is it? You said you did a screening here in this gymnasium, right? Where is it? You know the problem we have here? These right here are windows. That's a window, that's a window, that's a window. These are speakers, this is also speakers right here. Up top, we have lighting here, so there's no screen here, and this actually goes on a curve right here, so you're not up here anywhere. If you were here, if you were to drop, oh, you can't see that right there. I gotta bring it down a little bit. All right, bring it up a little bit there for you. So you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. If you were here, where these lights are sitting at, if your screen were to drop, that means it would fall behind. The people back here wouldn't see it. Their backs would be against the screen. It would have to be across here on stage. This is where it would have to be at. So there's a door here, there's a podium there. They got some flowers in the background. So you can't be anywhere here because then you would block the preacher. You couldn't see him. And you can't be behind here because they have two flags here and they have a sitting area back there. So you're not there. And this is all soundproofing right here. These are soundproof squares they have in here. This is all soundproof squares. And again, you can't be over here in the top because again, this screen would drop down right about there. That means it would land right here in this row of seats right here, which means only the people here would be too close to the screen and the ones the screen would be behind them. So where are you at in this picture? Nowhere. It means you stole this image, put it on your site, put a title at the bottom that this is your gymnasium, that your screen's in here. Because anywhere else, you can't put a screen in. Can't put it back here. That's not going to work. You got a door here, a door here, and a door here, and you can't put it across here. Again, that'd be virtually impossible because the preacher preaches right here. So that'll block him at the end of the day, and anyone sitting behind here. So they would never have it there. So where is it? That can't be a way over there. That's a neck breaker. That means everybody would have to turn their head to see the screen over there, and that's too small. And again, these are windows. So you're nowhere to be found in that picture, but yet you basically title this as your gymnasium. Did you not call that right there? Partes Gymnasium Life Center install? Where did you install what to? There is no install. There's no screen in the picture. This is what I'm talking about. People who constantly lie all day long. Oh, you think people are not smart enough to go in and check the picture? Yeah, they're smart enough. I mean, Google has the whole thing to check images. You stole the image off of Google, put your name at the bottom, and claim that your image was in there. Where is it? Because I'm not seeing it. There is no place to put a projection screen in there at all, period. No place to put one in there. So where are you getting this from? That's what I said, man. You lie too much. Lie on your instructions. Lie, basically. The instructions were pretty much nightmares, but that's a freaking lie. Gymnasium. Man, let me tell you something. I'm busy today, but if I did take the time out to dig into your page, it would be pretty bad for you. That's a lie. Talking about gymnasium, man. You have never been in there to begin with. Stop lying. My goodness. Humble beginnings. Really? Humble beginnings? You're going to start the line off with humble beginnings, and this is a complete fake? I'm telling you, you and Jamie would have been those salesmen that they have back in the Wild Wild West that go from town to town to town selling that freaking fake elixir, that miracle healing elixir. You guys have been shot and hung on the first or second date, because I know what would happen. Usually these guys will go to these places and they'll bring somebody in there, and the person maybe look like he's got broken leg or whatever, and he'll come in there and he'll drink the stuff, and he'll come out of his freaking splints and gets a miracle and start running all over the place, and then he'll rip up all these people. And these are just basically farmers and all one way. But one of these days you're gonna run into a gunfighter. Somebody that doesn't play it for a day, that has no problem with putting you down. You're going to run into one of them. And you're going to basically cheat this guy. He may come with a basic toothache or something, and you're going to cheat this man. I'm thinking you got away with it. Farmers and stuff, you can get away with them. But this guy, you can't. And one of these days, you're going to be at a local bar, and this guy's going to walk in and see you and recognize who you are, and he's going to, boom, he's just going to just level you out right there on the spot. That's what's going to happen. That's what you should. I watch a lot of Western, so pretty much that's going to happen. You guys go around selling snake oil. We're in here in this picture. Take this down. Since you're doing some stuff inside, take that down. That is an embarrassment. Gymnasium. Can't even find. Anybody can blow the image up and clearly see no screen is in there. What a freaking liar. My goodness. My goodness. Lies. No testing. PSP application. I swear it literally sounds like a video game. PSP application. It's for a video game. You literally named your screen paint under a video game. And something else here too. This has nothing to do with your product at all. PSP investments. You literally named your product after other companies. If you look at PSP application online, on YouTube, I guarantee it brings up a game system. Right here for this YouTube real quick. Oh, it's worse. The Nightmare Instructions. Product got a name that sounds like a video game. The PSP application downloads. Oh, this is going to be hilarious. See? There you go. If anybody goes in to go look up your PSP application, I'm going to buy one of these. These are pretty cool. But if anyone goes in to look up PSP application, let me check this out and see what he has up there. This is what we get. Nothing but the game system. There is nothing under your product on applications. Nothing at all. Nothing there at all. Nothing. Just video games. Now, question I got to ask. When I buy this product, am I getting a PSP with it? Because that's going to come up too. People are going to think it comes with a PSP game system. You'd be surprised. I've literally done enough screen paints. Oh, that's something you don't have either. I forgot you don't have that. Does the customer know that they're buying a screen paint or they're getting basically a physical screen? You don't have a category for your screen. Basically, that's wrong. Site. Where are we at this one? It's supposed to be a category. There we go. This is our whole section right here. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Applications. We have outdoors and basic. We should have to tell them that they're basically getting a physical screen paint. There we go. Let me see. You don't have these. These are called links. See how my hand moves over it? The links are actually he removed those. You know that he removed them because he kept putting down click here and nothing was clicking there because the links weren't even activated. All right, so you need the name of your product, right? You need a category class, which is very important. What is the category class? Mine is Black Series Collection. Pretty soon we'll have Legendary 770 or 77 or 77 or 77, we're going to call it. You have to have the game, which is ambient light projection, which is actually going to be converted to 4 with that technology we have in the next room, which looks absolutely freaking amazing. What does ADV stand for? Even though people know it means advanced, you still have to have that information. It's very important. Your lumen count, which we have, is 1,000 lumens. Also, too, we have a demonstration showing the product on 1,000 lumens, backing it up 100%. All right, you have to have type of product. So, type of product. I'm helping Danny out with this app. And now I see you're taking my advice. I just saw you put something there for cleaning instructions, so I'm going to help you out here. Type of product. Is the customer buying a physical screen or are they buying a screen paint? Even though you may basically advertise that they're buying a screen paint, you still have some customers that think they're buying a physical screen. So you must have it there stated. Because if they buy the product, they can easily go on to PayPal and say, hey, look, I thought I was buying a physical screen and I got paint instead. So they'll file a have not described on you. That's what they'll do. I've been to this before. So you can easily go into PayPal and says, no, I clearly have it stated here that this particular product is a roll-on and not a physical screen. There you go. I just helped you out. You can add that to your site. Also too, Crow, you can add it to your site also too. Viewing information. What is the viewing information? Videos are not enough. You have to explain it. Basically, how does it work on ultra short throws? How it works on long throw? Your product doesn't pick up on black screens, so this is not for you. So do we skip this category? On which when you pick up at 190-degree viewing angle, inside and out, we have those demonstrations of screens ranging to 150 inches to 250 inches. We have them at ultra short throw, Optima GT 5500, outside at 140 inches, demonstrations right there on display. Keep in mind, whatever you put here has to have actual video backing it. You have to have the color, which we call it a black slate. Also explain something about the OLED like black capabilities, for better contrast. This is basically a summary by itself for that little category. White level capabilities right here. Explains information about the heightener. It also explains too that if you put this screen against a white screen, the white screen is going to generate a much higher white level, that our white levels will drop. We put all that information in, we hide nothing from the customers. You literally have to put that in there when you're developing black paints. Black paints have to have an extremely different category than a gray because they're going to react completely different. Black screens should be able to generate in fully lit environments with no problem. Gray screens can't do it. So you have to have two different forms of applications. They both can't be all the same. Yeah. I'm not even going to tell you about this because you would never understand that. It would help you out in a big way, and I could tell you, and it could basically save you a lot of money, a lot of headache, but I'm not. You can figure it out later on yourself. All right, paint on applications. There's two versions of this. There's a paint on surface application and a paint on application. You don't have this in there. So basically, we're operating sprayers. Why sprayers should be used in fully lit and ventilated areas. Why the customers should be wearing safety glasses and all that stuff like that, because that's very important. Really don't need gloves, but you don't want to mark your hands up. It's up to you to wash it off anyway. Is your product biodegradable? Is it low VOC? Is it eco-friendly? Is it water-based? That's something that's extremely important. They got to know. Drying time, 30 minutes with a fan, depending on the size of your screen. Water, as I told you right here, cleanup instructions, warm water or mild soaps, because you don't want people using harsh chemicals on their floor, thinking because they're cleaning up a paint, they may have to go with something extremely harsh, which they really don't have to. Does your product clean up with mild soaps? Warm water or hot water, you give them that option right there. Please note, this will not come off your clothing when dry, because some people will literally paint a screen in with nice clothing on. I've done it many times before myself in jacked up clothes, but it will not come out. Make sure you have that noted on there, all right? And also again, please use in a well-ventilated area. Safety glasses is required for using a paint sprayer. Proper storage. You don't have proper storage on your page. How are they storing the product? Well, was the shelf life on the product? Screen size, what's the aspect ratio on the screen? What can they pick up on it? And in between 32 ounces, it has to be more than 120 inches. You have to have more than that in there. Are you doing 14.9, 15.9, 16.10? Are you doing 235.1, 239.1? What are you doing? Do you have those tests? Do you have those projectors? No, you do not. Paint on surface application, extremely important. What if a person decides to paint over an acoustic screen? Is that formula going to block all the holes so it becomes muzzled? No information about that. So someone can jack up a screen. They're going to basically take you to court because you owe them thousands of dollars because you wrecked the screen because you didn't put the information up there. Please note, micro mesh. Please note, when spraying a mesh or micro mesh or any kind of sound or light acoustic screen, sound will no longer transfer through, which we're warning you, this is going to happen if you use this particular coating. So we're not reliable because the information is right there. You're reliable for a lot of stuff. If I was a dirtbag at the end of the day, there's a number of things I could deliberately do in your product and file a complaint and win. Easily, because you don't have it there on your site to protect you. I can easily get you on so many levels. Let's see right here. We have PVC, motorized projection screens, fixed frame screens, plexiglass, fiberglass, smooth brick, fabrics, which we also put down the two applications of paint if you're using that. We do not allow people to paint on polyester tarps. Did you put down polyester tarps? Because you know why you can't paint on polyester tarp. That's the most weird and interesting surface I've ever seen, because a polyester tarp is a fantastic screen. If you take it outside, they're cheap and all, but you can't paint on them because they have some freaking jacked up issue with them where the paint will literally separate off the screen and slide clean off if any water hits it, which we found in a couple of test simulations. So what surfaces can you not paint on? You don't have that there. You just have a list of what you can. What can't you? You know how many different versions of wood they make for surfaces and different forms of, we don't have fiberglass. I'm sorry, you don't have glass, you don't have sheet metal, none of that there. So, whatever. You don't even have micro mesh. There's several different forms of micro mesh. They make something called extra fine micro mesh, which is like a really thin texture. Okay, let me see. What do we have here? Cleaning up with warm water and mild soaps. Priming applications. Right here we have when painting fabric. You have 2 coats of primer needed. And also when painting child-proof walls, which we had the experience twice on this one right here. you do have to prime. What size paint roller are we using? Are we using a 2-inch paint roller? Are we using a 4-inch? Are we using a 12? Is it going to be a gnat roller? Is it going to be a foam roller? Can we use this with a paintbrush? Again, you have to have that down there. People literally will paint a screen with a paintbrush. I had a couple of people do that. And I'll sit there and say, well, you said, no, we have it right there. It's right there. It's right there. You don't have that there. Let's see. Here we go right here. Perfectly fine. When using our paint sprayer to apply our application to a surface, do not use thinners. Now we have to add water to that because some dummy came on freaking YouTube. You know what it is. You can put water in the product because this will help you basically thin out. No, don't put water in the product. You don't thin out and break down the product and make it, make it crappy, make it weak. So we literally got to add that now to everything because we don't want people following these idiots at the end of the day. So this is the reason why you have to be able to, Jamie and Danny, let me explain something to you. You have a responsibility to lead people in the right way, to give them proper information. Because when you do dumb stuff on camera, it causes a ripple effect for everybody else. And we got to go in and change policies in our site because if people are believing your dumb nonsense, we don't want to be caught up in that freaking nightmare. I don't want people mixing water into our paint to begin with, and then it damages the screen, and then they're screaming and yelling at me because they think the product got damaged. And we never told you to put water into it. But because of these idiots at the end of the day, we literally now got to go in and change this over to also water. Because people don't know what they're doing or talking about on camera. This is why we need to get rid of you guys for good. Basic product information instructions. You don't have this. Resolution capability, 720p, 1080p, 4K. I didn't see this anywhere on your site. Front projection only. You have front and rear. There's questions about that one. I haven't seen any demonstrations on rear at all, period. You have, we have enhancements for projectors, viewing applications for 720p, which we showed demonstrations of 5,000 next to 720p projectors at 1080p, 4K, and so forth. I forgot I got some of those demonstrations over the day. We have ultra short throw, fully compatible. We have tons of demonstrations on different versions of ultra short throw. Note at 1,000 lumens, demonstrations done at 1,000 lumens. No high contrast rating projectors needed. No calibrating, no ambient light controlled environments, which we can back up with no problem. Not used for outside. Certain products we have for use for inside and outside. Do you have the product down there as an inside or outside paint? You don't. You have it down at 32 ounces, guaranteed to cover up a 120-inch screen. At what aspect ratio? You don't have it there. It's dark gray, so that you have a color there. Then you have this other nonsense you have in here. It says click here. There's no link here to click here at all, period. So I don't know why you got this nothing to click. Let me see, probably a paint design specification for projectors. No over-the-top counter paints. Well, yeah. Have you tested any over-the-top or any counter paints? Any of that? Have you done any of these tests at all against network gray? Any one of those? You haven't? All right, we'll do it for you. Roll-on or spray-on application. No thinners required. Okay, right there. The spray-on is pretty questionable because again, you got it where you have it set where 3/4 and 1/8. Again, that's going to get eat through a sprayer like crazy, so the customer's going to put the whole entire can in there anyway. Front and rear capabilities. I have not seen any rear demonstrations at all, period. So we don't even know about this. And if it has both front or rear, that means it's a very thin coating, and that means it's going to have problems, which means applying over imperfections on surfaces, which is going to require priming to cover that up, and top of that, including sanding. And another problem you're going to have involved in that nonsense. Hold on for a minute. Okay. And the only problem you're going to have with that application from the door is the fact that you can't roll on a rear projection screen. It's going to mark it up. It has to be sprayed on only. So I don't know how that's both front and rear. You just have that down there, front and rear. That's basically about it. About some no territory color shift. Designed for long throw, short throw projectors right here. Note not recommended for ultra short throw projectors. You dark gray can't pick up on an ultra short throw projector? What the freak? Seriously? What is wrong with your paint? That's not a black. That's a dark gray. Your dark gray can't read ultra short throw. Oh, this is trash. This product, something's wrong with your product. Something's clearly wrong. And if you can't pick up on ultra short throw on dark gray, there's something wrong with your product. How are you not registered and on dark gray? You think I'm joking? People, look at this. Look at this. His product is dark gray, right? He can't register on ultra short throw. Not recommended for ultra short throw projectors. This stuff is trash. What goes on if that thing is hit with an ultra short throw? Because you literally don't have it written down here. What happens? What happens? Well, we're going to find that out. We definitely going to find that out. I think this thing goes dark. I think it has an extremely poor angle gain. If it has an extremely poor angle gain attached to it, that means that thing has, yeah, it's going to be in the dark 24/7. It's not going to be able to generate any white light. Images are going to come up dark. Oh, man. Yeah, we really got to test this stuff. This is dark gray. I've seen black screens have problems with ultra short throws, but dark gray, that's it? This would explain why this thing is sitting in the dark. See the floor right here? How dark the floor is? Look at this. Let me shrink this down so you can see a little better. You see how dark the rug is? This would explain it. See how dark the environment is? See how dark it is right up in here? That would explain it. If you can't run on ultra short throw, there is a problem. A serious problem. You should be able to do that with ease because, again, the projector is sitting right up on top of the screen. There's no distance or nothing at all whatsoever. So it's a very easy demonstration to do. Long throw, on the other hand, would be an issue. That's why long throw projectors have insanely amount of contrast over an ultra short throw. Because, again, as I said before, you're not going to need 5,000 to 3,000 lumens when you're a foot away from a screen. Now you're about 21 feet from a screen. Yeah, that 4,000 lumen projector is going to be required, depending on how much light you have in the environment. It's going to eat through all that freaking lumens before you even make it to the screen. Your screen's going to have a high enough gain in order to pick up whatever's left from the projector to generate a high enough image to come right back at you. They don't explain it to you on camera, do they? Of course they don't. They don't know what they're talking about. I've listened to these people talk. One actually talks like he knows everything. The other one talks like he knows nothing. A dark gray, and you can't pick up on ultra short throw? Frankenstein can pick up on ultra short throw. Yuppie can pick up on ultra short throw. Heck, gray freaking primer that matches both of those can pick up on ultra short throw. And you can't pick up on ultra short throw on a dark gray screen? That is really disturbing. So let me get this straight. If anyone is an ultra short throw, oh my goodness, he's stuck in the gray category with ultra short throws. I bet you $100. Well, anyway, we gotta look into that. That's another. I told you these things keep peeling onions. It's like peeling an onion with these guys. He has nothing in his specification sheet. There's nothing there really. It's just nothing really there. That's it. So let's go over to our specification sheet. You're missing a ton of stuff, man. You're missing so much stuff. We even have projector support. Now we know if you're making another dark paint, can't even pick up on fake ultra short throw, fake projectors. They don't register. They don't register on anything dark. They can only register on light and white screens. That's where the fake products will pick up at, but they can't pick up on that. You don't have anything on their projector. Have you tested any knockoff projectors on your product to know if they work or not? So what's going to happen is a customer is going to pick up one of these knockoff, not these right, but a knockoff projector. He's going to put it on your product because you don't have it stated in there and you haven't done the test yet. And what he's going to do, he or she, they're going to find out it's not going to pick up because they usually don't pick up on darker paints. They don't register at all. And he's going to file a complaint with you as a have not described. And he's going to win. You know why she or he is going to win? Because you don't have a list of projectors that you have tested your product and know that they actually work. You can't even troubleshoot your own product. And there's our summary at the bottom. You don't even have keep out of reach of children and pets. When someone's going to call you and say, hey, is your product water-based? You know, do I have to? You don't even know if your product's water-based. Yeah. So back to this nightmare. What was the thing? Dark gray. Dark gray can't even see an ultra short throw? What the heck? Yeah, see the PSP application all in the dark. This is in the dark right here. Got the curtains blocked. This is in a dark environment. Okay, we got one here. Buddy, your screen is gray. It's not black. Well, you said dark gray, right? Okay, yeah, he said it was a dark gray screen. Yeah, because it's not coming up black. See, it's right here. See where that's black? See the color of your screen? So that means that screen can't register a contrast level for Jack. You're going to pick up definitely gray. And again, this would match any form of gray primer. It does the exact same thing. And it doesn't register an ultra short throw. You know it's going to be pretty bad? The gray primer will register an ultra short throw. We know, we tested it. This is not going to go well for you. You're going against a gray primer that can read on an ultra short throw projector, and your product can't do it. Yeah, that's gray. Yeah, that's gray. Yeah, that basin right there, we know what that is. That's definitely software gray. Not going to go well. None of these tests were done. And then you have yourself in the dark here. You're a dark gray and you can't pull up on ultra short throw. That's not good. So what happens, which I'm curious to know what happens if we do that. Let's go over to, okay, it's dark gray. Well, the lighter ones can pull up. Let's go grab one of these lighter ones. See, this is dark gray, charcoal gray, black. We have nothing here, so there's nothing over here. I don't know what this is. The Vega. Let me see what we got over here. No label there. This is mid gray. Let's see. Designed for ultra short. Yep, the light gray will work with it. But when it comes, and you have nothing here in the instructions, 2 games, you can't have that. That's virtually impossible. And the rest of this is your specification sheet from here to here. That's not big enough. That's definitely not big enough. What's your projector's lowest lumens? Not there. There's nothing there at all, period. That's it. That's all. That's the specification sheet. There's nothing there. Oh. Man, because he didn't do any testing. If he did testing, he would know what he has. Let's go here and see what this has. What color is this supposed to be? This is light gray. Also, let's see, recommended for the ultra short throws right here. And that's it. All the specification sheets are saying the same thing. It's the same thing, except for the color changes. That's basically about it. Maybe the game may change, that's all. All right, that's another one. These are ones we actually got our money back on these because you couldn't ship it out, but didn't have the PSP next to it. Let's see right here. Also too works with the ultra short throw. Now this is not a good thing. If it shows that only the light paints are picking up on ultra short throw, then there is a problem with the darker ones not being able to do it. A lighter screen is going to have a lot of problems. Again, like I said, you're going to watch the screen washout, fade. It's not ambient light projection. It's going to show washout in color, contrast, all that's going to happen. And what's going to make this even worse for this product is the fact that this product has insane instructions attached to it. So if you can basically buy a paint that does the exact same thing this product does, but you don't have to go through the insane instructions. So, what's the point? I wouldn't even bother with this, and cost less on top of that, less work, less money. And this one right here, Daystar. Let me see what color we got. This is also light gray. Didn't both of these say light gray already? Oh, gee whiz, man. Come on, dude. All right. This is also too with ultra short throws right here. Designed for ultra short throws. All right. Now, if you go to the darker ones up here, which is actually dark gray, if you can see it on the camera, we got dark gray here. This is right here, designed for short throw. Right here, not recommended for ultra short throw. Which is interesting because usually a screen that is not recommended for ultra short throw will also not work on short throw. That also comes in hand. Literally, certain DLP Super Network explains that in their demonstrations that you can't use short throws or ultra short throws because they don't register. We actually have short throws here to test it on. It's a good thing about having tons of projectors. So that one doesn't work on ultra short throws. So these dark products can't pick up on ultra short throws. This right here is charcoal. And what is charcoal saying? All right. Not recommended for ultra short throw projectors. This is your black. What does the black say? Note, not recommended for ultra short throw projectors. That says a lot about how your format is made. I literally, from that little bit of information, I know exactly which product's made. You're having a struggle. Anytime it comes to a darker screen, you're having an extreme struggle with ultra short throw projectors. You can't register. Again, this is an easy projector. It's sitting right up on top of a screen. There's no distance throw at all whatsoever. And for what they make ultra short throws now at 3,000 and up, that's easy now to do those demonstrations. If you have a very extremely poor angle gain, your screen's not generating enough light and it's turning dark, something's gone wrong. But I'll find out. We want the black. That's what I want. I don't care about the rest of them because they're just charcoal. We want the darkest one you got. So we'll go straight for the black. That's what I want. As for the gray, we want the light gray and we want the mid gray. That's what we want. Oh no, I take the light gray, mid gray, and I want the dark gray. Because the dark gray, I got some bullseye primer over here. It's exactly the same color. I'm curious if they do match. And at that, this is not even yours. Yeah, stole that too, didn't you? Yep. You stole that. That's not yours. That doesn't even belong to you. All right, return same instructions. One of the first tests you're going to go through, we're going to match you against everyday house paint. You should have those tests already done. We know you only did one demonstration in your test, but you claimed that to be our product. If our product came with that dark, when we get your product over here, it should react the same way in your video, correct? So again, if it doesn't, then you're going to have a lot of explaining to do in that video, aren't you? So another reason why your site may not open. Another problem too is, as I said before, any of the gray house paints are going to match your products with no problem because you have no test demonstrations at all, anywhere near that test. So this is a product that pretty much a customer can paint on just like that with no problem. No adding, no water, no thinner, nothing. Paint on the screen and be done. Your instructions are nightmares at the end of the day. Nobody in their right mind is going to paint that in. I don't even want to paint that in. And I paint all the time and I don't want to paint that in. So if a house paint can do the same thing your product can do and do it for far less, at less time to paint it in, why would they buy your stuff? That alone would hurt you at the end of the day. Can any of your products beat our stuff? No, we can knock out all your products in one hit. I can literally knock out your grays, I can knock out your silvers, and all that stuff is gone. We can knock that out. Black technology, eat that up with no problem. Your actual black technology, you don't operate on ultra short throws. We can. So we will do a demonstration side by side on angle gain, which is actually extremely important when it comes to ultra short throws. You won't pass any of them because you haven't stated it doesn't work. So that's going to be another problem. I doubt your white levels are going to do that well. I think your white levels are going to come out extremely dark. I don't see any real black versus black demonstrations in what you have on that black paint. So we'll see when it gets down here. Get your website open soon so we can get these tests started. As for on the 28th, we'll be doing the Noor, whatever that crap is at the end of the day, but we'll be making a better version because again, Noor is actually charcoal gray. It's not actually black. It's like kind of a dark charcoal gray. You should have went with the Black Magic, or you should have got the Domino. Those would have been darker. Or just get the Dynasty from Home Depot. Those are darker products. Again, do it right, please. I'm really glad I made this. Now, let me go put my challenge out for Jamie and we're done. I'm looking forward to you when you open up the site. Now, keep in mind, we've done this before. We tried to buy the products the first time, we received all canceled orders. We closed down the site, and I think we could order it in September. He closed down the site. It was supposed to be having a reopening in September, in Christmas, and he never opened up. He opened up for a couple of seconds. That's how we got the samples out of him. Got the samples, closed the site down again. He had one coming up for January, never opened that up. He had another one coming out for July, and it's coming soon on his product. That never opened up. This is July of, not this year, but last year, a couple years ago back. So now we have one coming up for April. He has the habit of opening, closing, opening, closing. That's why I said, can you keep your freaking site open for at least 4 days or a month? Literally couldn't keep his website open. And I told you what I said in the video. In order for you to try to bring this product out, you're going to have to dump the other product and start all over again from scratch. That's literally what I told you. That whole 4-paint application nonsense, no one's doing it at the end of the day. That's just stupid. Who would do that nonsense? And again, he did exactly what I said. Now it comes back and it's supposed to be one, I guess it's one, but 2 coats. But, hey people, the same stupid, crazy, nonsense instructions attached to it. And nobody wants to do it, not even I. And you gotta paint that twice. Oh my goodness. All right, well, with that being said, I'm gonna go check my list on whatchamacallit to see when that's coming in so I can get ready to make this paint. Once we make this paint, and if we ever get our hands on this stuff, because again, if he's not open in April, if he is open in April, whatever, we need to get it down here. If he's not open in April, we're done with you, Danny. You understand me? I ain't got no time to play your stupid games. Open your site so we can order your product, get it down here for testing. You did this nonsense on the first stuff that you made, that whatever crap that was, that watercolor paint in it. I told you what I was going to do. When I got your paint down here, I'm going to drain your containers, set the paint in the corner, get another cell phone, which I did buy another cell phone, and I'm going to basically put this on the phone so it shows we didn't open it up, we didn't tamper with it. Anybody can come and log in and watch it from beginning to end, so we never tampered with it. So we have proof of that. And I guarantee when I pop that can, that paint's still going to be there. It's just going to be regular paint. That water, something containment unit to keep the paint from, that's bullcrap. That's a lie, and you knew it was a lie. That's why you went in and changed the paints all over again. Now you got this other dumb nonsense on here with this other product. But yeah, we're going to test all your stuff out, and I guarantee you, if you match any one of the house paints that we bring in here, and keep in mind, a house paint, I can paint that in minutes, where your product takes too long to paint. I can destroy your loan on your instructions. On your instructions alone, I could wreck your product. You're gonna match a house paint. It's gonna be cheaper than your product. Again, who's gonna pay $60 for a gallon? And at that, from your crazy instructions, they can paint it in just like that and be done. Even your black paint is already destroyed from the door. It doesn't work on ultra short throw projectors. Are you kidding me? Our black technology can work on ultra short throw projectors. So right there, that's a strike against you. And again, the fact that it takes all those instructions just to paint in a black screen when ours paints in just like that, house paint paints in just like that, your product takes forever. So that alone destroys you right there from the door. Your ship's already sunk before it actually left the harbor already. Now, do you have enough confidence? Personal message to you, Danny Boy, just for you. I left the mic open. It's a hot mic. Just for you. Do you have enough confidence in your product to let me bring it down here and put it against an everyday house paint? Do you have that confidence? Keep in mind, you're already lost in instructions. You're done on that. Nobody is going to go through that nightmare to paint a screen in. Nobody's going to do that. It's too much work. And if we get a house paint, you match this house paint perfectly, and then turn around, the house paint takes nothing to paint in, very easy to do. You think your customers are going to buy that stuff at the end of the day, knowing that they can just paint it in just as fast as a house paint? We paint it just as fast as a house paint, we just don't match it. Demonstrations are right there. That's going to be bad for you. That's the part that's going to kill you. The instructions alone. What you need to do is you need to make your instructions simple. Now, by doing this, Danny, I'm going to put this weight on you, like I did with Crow. I told him if he changes the word delivered on his site, that makes me smarter than him. The reason why I can do this because he goes through like full glass, and it's easy for me to be able to say that and control him. So I will say it to you now. If you change this paint over to a basic paint on, much like it's easy as painting on everyday house paint, that means I was always right and I'm always smarter than you. Now let's see what happens. Now, if you don't change it over, what's going to happen is when the product gets here, well, that means that we're going to have a house paint that match your paint, costs less than your paint, and it's easier to paint than your paint. And that's not going to go well. I don't even have to run the rest of the test. Your instructions alone are going to destroy you. That's all I need. And again, calling yourself having a black screen in the day, again, nobody's going to waste the time to put all that in. It's not going to happen. You don't even work on ultra short throws. If I got a P2, I can't run my stuff on your freaking screen paint because it don't work. If I got an LG, Samsung, none of that stuff will work. And people love those ultra short throws. Another strike against you. So, are you willing to open up that website and go down that road? Now, as I said before, if you change that instructions over, that means I'm smarter than you. I will come back to this video and play it again. As a matter of fact, just to make sure we seal that coffin completely tight, I got to make another video. We're not going to do much videos today. I'm going to make another video just on that statement alone so I can go back and say I made this statement to you. I told you guys at the end of the day, be careful when you do stuff around me because, again, my stuff is tested. I got no problem coming on camera, showboating, and having fun. I'm going to be making this product better than Nord tomorrow or wherever that product gets here. We should be here on 28. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. But you guys, you're terrified. That's how I can easily come in and say certain keywords and you're stuck. Can't do anything. Jamie literally left that word spelled incorrect on his site for at least almost 3 years. You're so worried about what I say at the end of the day. I can control you on anything. Right from here, I can control you. Because you are a bull in a china shop. Ego problems, full glass, no humble, nothing. Who cares what I say at the end of the day? Who cares if I tell you I'm smarter than you? You see how I played you at the end of the day? Let me show you how I played you, Jamie. You're basically worrying about the opinion of one man, just me. What about the hundreds that may walk into your website and see that word spelled delivered wrong? That's 100 that thinks you're an idiot at the end of the day compared to one person as me that thinks you're an idiot. Which one's worse, the 100 or one person? It would be the 100 people. And I'm guaranteed these people probably want to say, hey, look, man, you got an error on your website. You need to spell that correctly. You can't even spell it correctly because you're worried about what I think. So therefore, at the end of the day, I control you. That's Business 101. Learn how to seize the opportunity, learn how to basically control the situation, learn how to take over and obtain power from another individual. But the entire time make them think they're in control. This is what goes on in the business world all day long. It's a huge, massive game of chess. That's what it is. But you just have to make sure that your armies are always well prepared and ready to go anytime the call war comes. And my technology is always ready. The problem is yours is not. So that's why I can do this. So we're going to put one of those locks on Danny's brain. Oh man, this is not going to go well. Like I said, I don't have to do much testing. The instructions alone are going to destroy you. And this is a lesson to learn from people who are basically making screen paint products. Don't make your instructions freaking insane. Keep it nice and easy. The easier it is to do, the more happy you're going to make the customer. Like the freaking nightmare IKEA furniture. All right, let's go in there. Let's get this done. I got to I asked Jamie for the third time to make our product. and I got to come in here and I got to request for put the clamp on parts A. Because again, you're going to have to change it. You're going to have to. If not, you get that product over here, and that network grade 773 or any of the paints we pick match your product. That's one bad sign you got against you. And the fact that they can paint that in faster than your screen, it's not going to go well. And it's going to cost less. All right. Well, let's see. April's running out. Hopefully you have, or this is another way you can get around it. Just don't open your website. That's what you can do. That's your only choice you have. If you open that website and we get our hands on that product, we get that product over here, it's going to go through the testing, which you didn't do. If you match any of the house paints we have over here, which we don't match house paint, there's going to be a problem. And the house paint can be painted in faster. I have my friend paint your screen in because I don't want to do that crap. I'm going to have him paint your screen and I'll paint the house paint in versus yours. Right on camera for everybody to see. How well is that going to go? Not well at all. So there's your options right there. I would suggest you don't open the website. Don't open the website, close it down for at least about a couple of months, and go in and put testing under all your products. Then come back on when you're ready. Okay, well, with that being said, let me go put the clamp in real quick. Usually, let's see where his brain goes at. I mean, most people at the end of the day, he avoids and basically ignores me and basically changes out the ingredients. Either way, it's kind of a damn if you do and damn if you don't situation. It does show that what I was telling you is true and you did follow my direction. So that's good right there, that you do basically listen to my advice because I've been here longer than you have. So that also shows that if you do change it, and if you don't change it, that means I control you. If you open your website and we get our hands on it, that's going to be another problem for you. So you may have to not open your website. You may have to change your date. You guys get yourself, this is the best thing to do is just to mind your own business, believe me, babe. Every time you guys get involved in my circle, you end up in these nightmare situations that you can't get out of. What are you going to do? Make a screen paint for me to actually make on? Oh, I've done that one already. I'm about to do one tomorrow. Oh, you never make your product, we'll put the directions up here, and we'll put it in your product. Blah, 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 blah. Done it already, literally. And now I'm basically building a wall of shame for you guys so I can use those demonstrations to build my company up even stronger. I said, look, we let trolls try to make our product and they freaking failed at it. That's how good our products are. They couldn't even make it. We had to come in and make a better version to help them out on something that they were trying to do, destroy my product. Here, let me help you out. You're not doing this right. Oh, it doesn't work either. How embarrassing that is at the end of the day. That's pretty embarrassing. Ah, my goodness. Why don't you guys just, at the end of the day, just stay in your, I'm going to give you guys a break. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm still going to get your stuff, Danny, no matter what. Whether you don't open up this week, you don't up this month, whatever, I'm still going to get your product down here. That's my promise to you. So your best bet is to walk out of this business completely. Or make a product that actually works. And we can find some kind of competition at the end of the day. But then again, I don't know, man. I'm taking the court and I'm suing you anyway, so I don't know how that's even going to go for you either. On top of that, you're going to lose a lot of money in the process, so that's a nightmare waiting for you to come up. So I don't know, I'll put that one right there. But until then, just occupy your mind on paint. But anyway, there's really nothing left for you. Guys are done. You're finished. Let's not talk about the lawsuits. What do you got? Honestly. I'm just being honest. What do you have? You haven't tested your product against house paint. If you match the house paint, Danny boy, if you match it, you're talking about a product that, again, can pick up on an ultra short throw projector. That gray bullseye can see on ultra short throws. It picks up on it. Your dark gray can't see it on an ultra short throw. Heck, black paint can pick up on an ultra short throw. It might not pick up the white levels correctly. It might pick up, but it can pick up. So how in the world you got a black paint that can't pick up on ultra short throw, and we can beat a black paint on an ultra short throw? That's what we did outside. We did the demonstration outside, ultra short throw projector versus our black paint outside, and beat the black paint on the ultra short throw projector. And you can't even be used on an ultra short throw projector, period. Gee whiz, my goodness. Did you even think about that when you started talking? I'm pretty sure we gave him a lot to think about in this video. A lot to think about. My goodness. So basically, when I get done crushing you real quick, and I get done crushing this fake Noor paint, we got to upgrade and make it better because it's a sad paint. And the day you should have went with the Black Magic, or at least the Dynasty, one of them darker ones. At the end of the day, I mean, at least make something worth of my time. We'll help you make it for you. Gee whiz. Do the job for you. Literally have to make a product to put against my own product because you guys can't seem to do it right. And we give you one freaking task. That's all you have to do. One job. That's all you had to do. And you couldn't make it right. Freaking Crow had to make it twice. Come on. At least put an effort into it. Gee whiz. Oh man. Just be prepared. This is what's going to happen when the paint doesn't pass. You're going to get used to me talking on camera about you like this. One freaking job. Just one. And you couldn't get it right. Kept adding more dark paint into it and adding more dark paint into it. It kept coming up gray. I'm like, gee whiz, here, I'll help you out. I'll make it for you. And we'll put some special glitter in it for you. And it still didn't match. And you're sitting there laying in your bed like some 16-year-old girl. Okay, make it again. We give you the third time to make it again. Just make it darker. I'm just making it black. I don't know which way you're going to go with that. No. But those who want to sit there and say, hey, you're not being professional. No, I am being professional. If you're stupid enough to basically work with my work at the end of the day, I built my company from the ground up. I worked hard. I struggled. I did everything I had to do to get my product where it needed to be. And if I got boneheads at the end of the day that feel the need that you're going to cross over into my territory and make my product look like trash, guess what? You got a fight coming at you. Because I am not the one that backs down at the end of the day, and I'm not the one that allows people to roll over top me. Not only will I have victory, but I will crush you in the process and turn you into pure dust when I get done with you. Please, you got the wrong person you're dealing with. You want to be in this business at the end of the day? You better be a pit bull at the end of the day. Puppies don't work in this world at the end of the day, in this business. These people come here and eat you alive. You better have demonstrations to back your product up. And what makes me actually much more happier is watching these imbeciles, these trolls at the end of the day who talk all this trash about my product fail miserably trying to make it. Even when we give you the permission to do so, you still can't get it right. And I got to come in and make a better version of the trashy paint that you basically are trying to call my product and still beat that too. I got to do your job for you. How sad is that? That's really sad. Let me explain something to you. One's going to call yourself gunmetal at the end of the day. You're not gunmetal. You don't possess gunmetal technology. You want to call yourself gunmetal? You see all that gunmetal technology sitting out there, the diamonds, the high advanced gunmetal? You beat every single one of them, including every ultra short throw gunmetal you can get your hands on. You beat a screen literally so bad that they got lawyers coming down on top of you telling you if you touch this stuff, they'll take you to court and sue you. You do that kind of damage at the end of the day, then you got the right to call yourself gunmetal. I literally built the gunmetal literally so dark, tilting it on the edge of almost being perfect gunmetal, that literally I use that technology to level every gunmetal screen I can get my hands on. The other ones wouldn't even touch it. Dragonfly wouldn't go near it. Talked to him on the phone. Very nice man at the end of the day. No disrespectful, very nice, very polite, very respectable person of the day. But he wouldn't give me the sample sheet for the Dragonfly. I couldn't get it. So, the whole purpose of developing that gunmetal to wipe out all the other gunmetals is for one purpose only. To watch our black technology wipe out the gunmetal we developed to knock out all gunmetals. Do you know how advanced the technology of black screen would have to be to do that? We literally engineered a black gunmetal technology to wipe out all the other gunmetals and then use that very high performance gunmetal to watch our black screen destroyed. To show you how advanced black technology is. Can y'all do that? Can't even get past house paint first. So, you're too easy. Way too easy. So, Danny, much to think about. Much to think about. You open that store up, you know what's going to happen to you. You will match the house paint we have selected. That will happen. The black paint, you're not going to pass. Black paint can pick up on ultra short, though. You won't be able to pick up on ultra short, though, at all, period. You're definitely going to fail the black paint test. And a black paint can be painted on faster than your product. Your instructions are a nightmare for you. You get rid of those instructions and you make it like normal paint gets painted on, and you got a bit of a fighting chance. Now, mind you, if you do this, you're taking my advice at the end of the day. And if you do this, this makes me far smarter than you. Now, are you willing to let your ego get the best of you? Or are you willing to humble yourself and just do exactly what I told you to do? Make the product easier to paint. That's what you have to do. It's up to you. Or you can just watch your product get destroyed. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're gonna need tests too. You definitely need tests in this house, man. You're running out of time. Get that done, please. Now, for those who sit there and say, well, you know what? We don't need your product. We'll go ahead, knock yourself out. Go. Where are you gonna go? Honestly, where are you gonna go? No one's product is tested. We've been through everything. We've been through glue screen, we've been through paint on screens, we've been through it all of it. We have the most advanced demonstrations. We have the most knocked out majority of all certified screens. We've done it. We literally have so many demonstrations. We flood YouTube. We flood Facebook. Name one thing we haven't been able to accomplish. I even have technology that can absorb sunlight. And yet we sit here and we charge pretty much next to nothing for our technology. But that's going to change at the end of the year because I'm going to get what my technology is worth. And I have a PR team, I have whatever I need at the end of the day that will basically market my product where it needs to be at. We already have technology all set up for 2024 in big screens, and these guys can't even get out of the gate with house paint. This is what you're going to be subjected to. This is what you're going to be dealing with. People, I hope we get somebody in there. It'd be nice to have somebody come in, and if we get one person that can come in and be respectful. This is the lesson you have to learn at the end of the day. Those of you making great products at the end of the day, skip great products. Skip it all. Start off with black. That's what you want to do. Come back in a couple of years and show that you have a technology that actually works. Don't do something where you make something in a couple of days and ends up looking like the trash that these guys are actually pushing out at the end of the day. This is a perfect example of what you don't do at the end of the day. Make sure your product is tested. But I give you fair warning too also too. If you decide that you want to use me as a springboard to boost your product, I will burn your harbor to the ground and I will sink your ships before you get out of the harbor. You do not know what you're dealing with when it comes to this level. At the end of the day, I have technology and cookbooks sitting around in my apartment that can blow y'all stuff out of the water easily. Even blow the technology I'm working on out of the water that's just sitting there as a fail-safe if I ever decide that if I want to come back in a couple of years and bring out some new technology. It's maybe years in advance. I always tell people at the end of the day, never worry about what you can see. Always worry about what you can't see. That's what you worry about when it comes to us. We're already engineering technology for 2024. I have technology all the way up until 2030, if I'm still around at that time. But I have cookbooks, ingredients on products way beyond what we have of the 77 Legend. Right now, we don't have any screens that match us. And we give you guys the opportunity to even prove that, to help us actually prove that we have that ability by giving you the opportunity to make our products and then destroy your product online. Even make it better than what you made it and still destroy it. So, right now at your fingertips, you have an advanced technology right there in front of you. Pretty soon it won't be there anymore. Pretty soon it'll be marketed someplace else. So, take advantage of the opportunity while it's there, because sooner or later it won't be there anymore. I have big plans for that technology, very big plans. It's interesting because every once in a while I get the phone call from a customer who basically tells me a story at the end of the day that he doesn't have the money to pay for the screen paint. And this is what pretty much I think what it does, it brings me back down to where I'm at. Sometimes, yeah, I am arrogant. I'm very arrogant. I'll tell you that from the door. I don't basically deny that. I am. I do sometimes when I can develop technology that fast, that quick, and can blow out tests left and right. This part of me pops up. And it's a part of my ego that pops up that basically puts me to a point where, yes, I know my technology better because, again, I can say that I can do the test with no problem. But there is a part of arrogance that does pop up in me. You're hearing it right now. when I talk about destroying people's products and stuff, but it is. I have that capability. And then I do want to charge tons of money for my technology. I do want to make as much money as the DMP Supernovas and the Black Diamonds out there. I want to make that kind of money. But also too, at the end of the day, I also have to fight with the other part of me who really thinks at the end of the day, reason why we got into this business to begin with. It wasn't about money. It was about basically making a product that everybody could afford. And there's my debates. Well, it's been a nice talk, hasn't it, people? And I couldn't care less if you hate me. If you like me, hey, it's up to you. If you hate me, hey, it's your opinion at the end of the day. But the bottom line is we can back our products. Already we've shamed one person trying to make our stuff the biggest troll we got, and it turned out miserable for him. And on the 28th, hopefully my stuff is here today, which would be nice. We're going to basically destroy that Noor nonsense and be done with that. And Danny, if you ever decide to open up your website, I'm going to crush your products along with your products. And then after that, I'm done. I got to move on. I got other things I have to do. I have to research machinery. I have to research all kinds of stuff I need at the end of the day. So for the next level of my company, brick and mortar, it's going to be a completely different experience than being online. So I have work I have to do. I even have special customized containers coming in for my paint containers that are being custom made. And I have to look over all the artwork that's going to be done for them. So say what it is. Jamie, you couldn't make my product. You failed miserably. I made it for you and it still failed. This thing with Danny nonsense, I'm not Danny, Solid Bake. Another fellow was going to court for some dumb nonsense for doing something stupid. So scared and terrified of my product, he did a fake unboxing. How terrified do you have to be to make a fake unboxing on my product? That's pretty sad. But anyway, that freaking trash paint. I'll trash that and be done with that and move on from there. And after that, that's it. I'm not going to speak of you guys, talk of you guys, because I got work to do at the end of the day. I'm going to ignore you, and you can cry and rant on how I beat the crap out of you for the last couple of days, and I'll just ignore you. Take your binky, sit in the corner, get your blanket like Linus. I'm just going to forget you and go about my business. When the day comes to court, I'll pop up and I'll mention your name again like, hey, I'll see you in court real soon. Better have my money. All right, well, let's see. Danny, I got one demonstration, one thing to say to you. When I come to make a special video strictly for you, talking about that whole process of basically painting on your screens, which is a freaking nightmare to anybody. You open up that website, we will get our hands on that product. I guarantee you that. You won't be me because you'll cancel out on me because you're afraid. But my friends will get their hands on it. And when we get your product down here, first test I'm going to run, how much house paint does your product match? That's one of them. That ultra short throw, why doesn't your product doesn't work on ultra short throw? What's going to be the reaction for that? I'm kind of curious about that personally myself. And one of the things that's going to destroy your product right from the door is the fact that house paint doesn't go through those crazy instructions. Anyone can paint it in any time at all. Your product is going to take longer to paint. My friend's a painter. I'll have him come down and paint your screen. I'll paint the house paint. We'll see which one paints the fastest. Put them side by side. Your product's going to match the house paint. That's what's going to happen. And here's the thing. House paint can be used on ultra short throws. Your can't. So why would anybody spend the money for your product? That fast, I can destroy your stuff. Okay. As for Jamie, we're done with you. You failed already. We gave you the option to make the paint. You failed. I made it for you, and you still failed. But I'm not done with you in a certain way. Every day until the end of this month, and it's not long to go, until the end of this month, I'm going to request for you to make my paint. I'm going to give you a third chance to make it. We know you can't make it. We know you don't have any other options. And we know after the embarrassment, you're not going to try to make it again because I don't see any proof of any more videos when I went to go check. So we know you don't want to make it again, but you're going to have to. Or you just ignore me asking you over and over again, which is going to look pretty embarrassing on YouTube. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to embarrass you on YouTube again. So you have a third chance to make my paint. You were so bright-eyed, bushy-tail about doing it first. When you first started off, you thought you had my ingredients, and now you don't even want to think about it and talk about it anymore. You don't want to bring it up at all, period. You want to switch the attention to somebody else, like Silent Wake 5. You don't want it on you. That's why you had the ingredients right in front of you. You could have made it right there on camera, but you don't want to go near that because you don't want to fail again. Okay, well, that's it. And after that, I got business to take care of, and that's it. Give you guys the binkies, and that's it. You can cry and whine all you want. I'm good. I did my damage. I proved my product, and I'm moving on. I got things to do. But first, I got to take care of this mess first, and then I can move on. All right. Hopefully, Dandy is going to be open up. Come on, man. Open your site, man. Open your freaking site so we can do the freaking test. Gee whiz, I'm gonna get this done, man. I'm gonna try this out. Oh, okay. I'm gonna get back here. I gotta put these 2 videos in. Gotta go, and God bless.